Hey guys, and welcome to my list of top 10 horror movies that everyone should watch. These are the movies that scared us the most, and they basically forced us to sleep with lights on in the bedroom. So, yeah, and one more thing, I am not going to talk about the Conjuring series or the Annabelle series because those are very mainstream movies and a lot of people know about those. I would like to talk about some of the movies that went under the radar for a lot of people and they are very underrated, but those movies are damn good and I guess everyone should watch it. And I'm also going to tell you where you can watch this movie on which OTT platform or something like that. And yeah, without any further ado, let's just jump into this. So, coming in at number 10, we have The Cabin in the Woods. This is a very weird movie, in fact. This is basically a combination of cliches, tropes, and everything that a horror movie should have, and all of the horror movies does have. But it is there's a twist to it. Basically, it is presented in a very fun dynamic to it, and this is a freaking awesome and a funny movie. It is very funny. Although, yeah, it is a horror movie. It does have a lot of horror tropes in it, but it is a very funny movie. It basically paints itself as a parody for older horror movies. The comedy in this movie is top notch. I mean, it is that type of comedy that you can expect from a Joss Whedon's film. And the kills, oh my god, the kills in this movie are a lot visceral and it can definitely make you sick at some point, but those are really fun to watch and a little bit satisfying too. There are a lot of satisfying kills in this movie, and so basically, you have to take it into consideration that this is a satire horror film. So you have to, so there can be some tropes and cliches that every horror movie should have in it, but you can keep those aside definitely after you reach the climax of the film. I mean, oh my god, the climax is the most chaotic climax I've ever seen in a horror movie, and it's just fantastic to see. So yeah, just go ahead and check this movie out, and you can watch this movie right now on Prime Videos. So coming in at number 9, we have Ghost Stories. Ghost Stories is a very classic tale. I mean, it is basically three tales into one. You will definitely understand what I'm saying after you watch the film. It is a classic tale of ghost, bizarre occurrences, suspense. But it's all wrapped up in a perfect ambience of a slightly dated British culture, characters, and dialogues. If you're after a slasher movie with all the bloodshed and everything, I'm sorry, this movie is not for you. It is a very intense film. Its strength lies within the psychological aspects and it gets under your skin kind of stuff. It is a very well directed psychological thriller in that sense. Its most horrifying part is the end of the film actually, and it has a really good twist into it. It really caught me off guard. And to say more, I will basically be spoiling the film for you. So I'll just summarize it by saying that it is a very well directed, spooky movie, and you'll definitely love it. And of course, you can catch this movie on Prime Videos. So coming in at number 8, we have a movie called REC or REC. It's basically a short form for record. And REC is easily one of the most scariest and believable found footage film I've seen in a very long time. It really seems very realistic and raw thanks to its down to earth characters, its relentlessly claustrophobic atmosphere, and the creature design. I mean, the zombies in this movie looks very good. And it's also a funny movie at sometimes, but it is a very tense film. And the end of the film, I just turned on the lights in my bedroom. It's that scary. I mean, you will definitely love this. This is a Spanish movie actually, and it also has a remake of it under the name Quarantine, which was done in Hollywood. The sad thing is, the original movie is not available on any OTT platforms as of now. If you find the movie anywhere, just tell me in the comments below. I'll definitely check it out. But if you want to watch the remake of the film, you will have to rent it on YouTube. So coming in at number 7, we have Black Phone. Black Phone was the best horror movie I watched last year. I mean, this movie doesn't waste any time in giving us any kind of unnecessary expositions or explaining too much up to us about what is being presented in front of us. And this is a very scary movie, but also a very emotional tale of growing up with traumas, pain, and losses, and to accumulate the strength with our family and friends, and also with ourselves to keep on fighting with it. Ethan Hawke plays the role of a killer with all he's got. I mean, he's just the best in this film, and it is just an amazing and engaging experience, so well put together that I can't even find a single thing to complain about it. So yeah, just definitely check this one out too, and you can watch this movie on Prime Videos. So up next at number 6 we have The Witch. Movies like The Witch is a reason for me that the horror genre still stands. I mean, the way that they presented the supernatural is a very different. It's very frightening and it's really very believable in a sense. And this movie is not for everyone. It's not a jump scare fest. This movie is for the ones who are willing to be a little bit patient with it, because this is a very slow movie and gradually builds up the tension. You will definitely find this film like that will seep into your head really deep and will definitely leave you uneasy for days, if not longer. This is arguably one of the best depictions of supernatural forces I have seen in a very long time, with some very beautiful cinematography. And yeah, this movie is also available on Prime Videos. It's getting real good now. So yeah, we are in the top 5 now, and coming in at number 5 we have The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is Robert Eggers' most recent claustrophobic horror and psychological thriller, and by God, this movie is a sight to behold. I mean, this is a very beautifully shot film. This movie basically revolves around a young boy played by Robert Pattinson, who is trying to keep its sanity while working a 4-week shift from a very unlikable superior, brilliantly played by William Dafoe. And the most standout part of this film is these two guys actually. I mean, the acting in this film is just out of the charts. It's brilliant. This movie has everything like sci-fi, horror, fantasy, thrill, fun. I mean, it's very well put together and it's very psychological. This film will definitely toy with your emotions. And the best part is this movie is shot in black and white and a 1:19:1 aspect ratio, which can be a little odd for someone who's not very well accumulated with watching this kind of film. But this movie is highly recommended to you guys. You should definitely check this one out. And yeah, you can rent this movie on Prime Videos. So coming in at number 4, we have a movie called The Empty Man. The Empty Man is a cult classic film. It is a very ambitious tale of cosmic horror with some intriguing and extraordinary and of course very scary ideas, very well put together, and it came off as a brilliant movie. This movie starts in a very weird way. I mean, this movie sets up its tone with a 20-minute long prologue without any main characters before the title comes up. That is very risky, I might say, and this movie takes a lot of risks, but I like the ambiguous nature of this film, and this is the most underrated film that is on this list because like no one knows about it, and it is a cult classic film, and you should definitely check this out. And you can check this movie on Disney Plus Hotstar. So we are in the top 3 now, and coming in at number 3 we have a movie called Get Out. The breakout film for a comedian turned filmmaker, 2017's Get Out is a brilliantly directed thriller, and it delivers a much needed social commentary on race relations while depicting the deep-rooted fears that black people have to endure within the white society. Though Get Out was a thought-provoking and brilliant in terms of plot construction, director Jordan Peele definitely understands the seriousness of this subject matter, but he's able to find considerable humor in it also. It is a very good treat for you horror fans, and you can check this movie out on Netflix and Prime Videos. So coming in at number 2, we have The Babadook, a film in the tradition of innovative classic horrors made on a budget of a shoestring. The Babadook follows the footsteps of classic horror movies like The Halloween, Friday the 13th, and The Blair Witch Project. What this movie lacks is outright scariness that a person basically expects from a horror movie. This movie is not a jump scare fest. It doesn't have a lot of bloodshed in it. It doesn't have a lot of slasher elements in it, but it definitely makes up for it by providing us with a very good style and messages. And the titular boogeyman in this, the Babadook, is basically a metaphor for grief and mental illness. And of course, this movie has been marketed as a monster movie, but it's much more than that. It's about grief, it's about mental illness, it's about depression, and what all those things can do to a person, with some brilliantly executed acting by each and everyone in this film. And I would definitely recommend this movie to you. And once again, you can watch this movie on Prime Videos. So finally, we are at number one, and my number one pick for this list is a movie called The Hereditary. Hereditary is a film that certainly explores the intergenerational effects of a family curse, with literal invocations of a demonic entity, but also a dramatic and emotional manipulation between the family members. From this movie, there's much to be gained by repetitive viewings, picking up on subtleties and details glossed over in an initial attempt to basically make sense of what the hell is going on in this movie and what the hell is this movie about. This movie doesn't rely on jump scares and horror cliches like basically each and every movie nowadays, but rather is a very slow and crawling build up to what a viewer can see, basically an inevitable end of the Graham family, with some exceptional acting, a very beautiful cinematography. And this movie does have a lot of disturbing imagery in it. It will definitely make you sick at a point, but it is an easy recommendation to any horror fan out there. And yes, you can catch this movie on Netflix and Prime Videos. So there you have it, our top 10 horror movies that everyone should watch. Whether you are a fan of psychological horror, demonic possessions, or grotesque monsters, there's something for each and every horror fan on this list. And what is your horror movie? Let us know in the comments below, and do not forget to like and subscribe for more top 10 lists. Till then, happy watching.